Hi, everyone. Hope the day has been good for you. Today we're going to be working on parabolas and parabolic equations, and we'll be going over the three main ways you can see parabolas written. So we'll go through three questions, and then you can pause before each question to try it on your own, and then you can see how I do it and see if you can find a faster way or a better way to do it than me. That would be great. If you do find that way, let me know in the comments. That would be awesome. So before I do this question, I'll go through and list the three types, right? So there is the classic y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, right? And this equation form is good for if you want to use the quadratic equation, which as a reminder is negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But aside from that, it isn't that helpful because it doesn't tell you, well, it tells you the y-intercept, right? When you plug in 0 for x, you just get c as the y-intercept. But it doesn't tell you right off the bat the vertex, and it doesn't tell you right off the bat the solutions, right? It tells you y-intercept, and it tells you which way it faces up, right? Because negative a is like a bell, positive a is like a u. But that's really all it's good for. So we often have to change this form into two other forms to get the information we want. And negative b over 2a gives you the line of symmetry. But again, there's other equations give you that more easily. So then the classic thing we do is we take this and we factor it and we get factored form. Right, so factored form would be something like y equals x minus, let's call this m, or plus m, or let's do minus m, and x minus n with a on the outside, right? And then m and n are solutions, which also means they are x-intercepts. And that's super helpful, right, to already have that just written out naturally for us. So this is, I'll label it in blue, factored. And then we have standard. And when I work with students, I think they know these two forms the most. For some reason, high schools really do a lot of math and equations with this, and they don't do so much with the third form, which is something that the SAT, especially the digital SAT, seems to like to use, and that is vertex form. And vertex form is very helpful because it gives you, as you might guess, based on the name, the vertex pretty naturally. So it is y equals a x minus h squared plus k, where h and k equals vertex. Okay, so these are the three forms that you'll most likely see the parabola in. And some questions might have them be looking weird and you have to fit them into one of these. But if you know these three and you know what they give you, then you're really far in the process of getting the answers correct for these types of questions. So let's go over this question first, in which we have to convert into vertex form, and then we will go from there. So this gives us this. We want to find the vertex based off of this, right? So we would do vertex. Okay, so we first have to find line of symmetry. Line of symmetry. Forgive my spelling. Is negative b over 2a. Again, I know my b sometimes look like sixes, but bear with me. So now we'll do that math here, right? So here, b equals 6, negative 6. A equals 1. So we'll do, I thought I changed it to black. Okay. Negative b over 2a equals negative 6 over 2 times 1 equals 6 over 2 equals 3. So so that's the x value. So vertex equals 3 comma something. And then we plug this in to the equation, right? Because once we have the x value, we just need to find what y is when x is that value. So we're going to plug in 3, 4x to find y at vertex. All right, so then let's do that, right? So y equals, and I like to put parentheses always just sort of keep track of negatives and everything. So y equals 3 squared minus 6 parentheses 3 plus 8. Y equals 9 minus 18 plus 8. Y equals negative 9 plus 8, negative 1. So your vertex is 3 comma negative 1. Now to make that into vertex form, we do vertex form equals y equals a x minus h squared plus k, where h and k equals vertex. So we're going to plug in y equals a equals 1, right? 1. So it's going to be x minus 3 squared minus 1. And the weird thing about vertex form is this counterintuitive part where you're subtracting the x value of the vertex, and you would think you'd just be adding it the way that you're just adding y. But once you do enough of these problems, that becomes pretty natural. You just remember x always goes in the opposite direction of what you would expect. Okay, so great. I know that seems like a lot, but if you do a couple of these, you'll nail it. So great, you're doing great with this. And we can go on to the next one. You can just take a breath and try this one out. So which of the following equations has a minimum at 4 comma negative 5 and a y-intercept of 3? Okay. So let's take some information in here. Minimum means that a minimum means it's facing like this, which means that a is greater than 0. So let's eliminate b because a is not greater than 0 there. A is negative 2. So that helps us with that. At 4, -5. So minimum and maximum are the vertices of a parabola. So let's see now which of these has a 4, -5. So this would have -4, -5. So no thank you to A. This one has 4, -5. Okay, C works. And then D has a -5, 4, which does not work. So I can already tell you, even before we did the y-intercept part, that C is your answer, right? Just based off of the vertex and the fact that it is 4, -5 and facing upward. But let's say we had another answer, right, that was like E, and it was saying something like y equals x minus 4 squared minus 5, and that gave you 4, -5. So in this situation, right, how would we choose? We would have to plug in 0 for x and find when we get 3, because it's the y-intercept of 3. So let's plug in 0 for C. Or let's plug in 0 for E first, just to show how it's wrong. So 0 minus 4 squared minus 5, so that's going to get you 16 minus 5 equals 11. Wrong. But now let's do C. X minus 4 squared 1/2 0 minus 4 squared minus 5. So that's going to get us 1/2 -4 squared. Negative times a negative will be positive, so it's going to be 16. So 1/2 16 minus 5, and that's going to get us 8 minus 5. That gets us 3. So that just shows what we already know, right? Which is that C is the correct answer. Okay, perfect. If you have any questions on this question or the one we just did, always feel free to leave comments. And if you want more questions like this, feel free to leave comments. I can either make videos or just put them in the comments for you. Let's try this one here. Which of the following equations has solutions of -3 and 2.5? Okay. So solutions, let's make a note to ourselves, right? Solutions means x-intercepts. And again, like always, forgive my handwriting. I'm working on it, you know. In 3rd grade, my penmanship, that's when I learned cursive, and that was my hardest class. Maybe in my whole life. Definitely K through 12. So now we're going to do which of these gives us these solutions, right? And there's two things you could do. You could factor each answer choice and try to get -3 and 2.5 as your solutions. Or you can make equations based off of this and FOIL and get one of these, which is what I'm going to do. Now, you need to be careful, though. Solutions -3, 2.5, that means you might want to do x minus 3, x plus 2.5. But no, that's wrong, right? That's just going to mess things up. That's not having the right signs in the right way. So let's do x plus 3, x minus 2.5. And actually, each of these should have had it equal 0, equals 0, because otherwise they're expressions, not solutions. But that's okay. We understood what it meant. So here, now we FOIL. So boom, 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 boom. So x squared plus, well, let's do outside sums outside. X squared minus 2.5x plus 3x minus 7.5 equals 0. That gets us x squared plus 0.5x minus 7.5 equals 0. And which of these gets us that, right? So we want negative 7.5, so it's not A, it's not B. Even when you work it out, it's always going to be comparing answer choices. That, in a way, works to check your own work after. So you see how they're all x squared. This had a 2x squared, which didn't make sense. 8 also doesn't make sense. Plus 7.5 doesn't make sense. And then you have 0.5x, and that's what we want, right? Positive 0.5x. So this one's not it. And we do C. I'm always telling my students to look at all the answer choices and do process of elimination. It doesn't add that much time to your test, but it does help you check your work, and honestly, it helps you save time because you can do elimination and get to the answer choice faster. But yeah, so here, right, we worked in factored form. In this one, we did vertex form. And then this one, we went from standard form to vertex form. And they're all useful in some ways. Standard form is probably the least useful, but it's also maybe the most common because it's written plainly, right? There's no weird factoring going on or anything. And they all help you. So I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, any type of material you want to go over in the future or comments, let me know. And if you like this video or found it helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you.